Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen. I said, put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen. 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Are you listening? Are you listening? Join us. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen. I said, put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen. 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Are you listening? Are you listening? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen. I said, put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen. 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening?
Good morning. On this bright morning we don't always have, we are celebrating the dark. Charlie was telling me that he looked it up, and this time of year we have 1/3 daytime and 2/3 nighttime. So let's appreciate the light coming in through these windows. Blessed is the dark, in which our dreams stir and are revealed. Blessed is the dark of earth, where seeds come to life. Blessed are the depths of the ocean, where no light shimmers, the womb of all earthly life. Blessed is the light into which we wake, the light that sparkles on the waters, that calls the tree forth from the seed and calls the shadow forth from the tree. As we gather for worship this morning, blessed are we as we move through darkness and through light. So, welcome, everyone. Today, we are gathered as this community gathers on the unceded ancestral lands of the Duwamish people who are still here carrying forward cultural practices and wisdoms that have stewarded this land and surrounding waters for generations. As we put our roots down and put our feet on the ground, let us remember that this was not originally our land. As we feel ourselves on this ground, let us remember that we did not arrive here by chance, but as the beneficiaries of laws that displaced the Duwamish from their homes, banned them from gathering their food, and strove to erase their language and culture. In addition to this harm of stolen land of indigenous peoples, we acknowledge stolen bodies of Africans captured and sailed to foreign shores, and the stolen labor of Black, Indigenous, and other people of color. In this acknowledgement, let us have the courage to consider our role in the repair of this legacy of violence and erasure. And as we are grounded here, please know that whoever you are, wherever you have come from, whatever the color of your skin, whoever and however you love, however your body moves or your brain works, however you identify, you are welcome here. Our Unitarian Universalist tradition has no test of faith, no creed or oath to swear. Instead, we have the promises that we make to one another, commitments we make to healing a hurting world within and beyond these walls.
Good morning. As we begin our worship journey together, we light our chalice. And our chalice lighter today is Kim Frappier. And Kim is here, thank you. Our chalice is the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist heritage. May its heat energize us for the work that is ours to do. May its light make our vision clear and bright. May its warmth comfort us always. This morning, as we light this flame, we mark this time as sacred time. We mark this space as sacred space. Let us share in all of this together. And now, as Kim has lit our chalice, let us please join together in our congregational affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship. Thus do we covenant with one another. Thank you. So, welcome to the Westside Unitarian Universalist congregation, and to all those gathered here in the sanctuary and all those joining us online as well. I am Lisa Reitzes. I'm a member of the worship team. It is a great joy to be collaborating today with Reverend Carter and Rainier Reunion in this worship service on the theme, A Seed Underground. If you're with us for the first time or the first time in a while, welcome. We're so glad you're here to share in this time, to make some space in your life, to attend to your heart and your spirit, to come together here in community. Please visit our website, which you can do by scanning the QR code in the card in the pews, where you can fill out a welcome form so we can get to know you a bit better, and send you our weekly electronic newsletter, The Westside Week. It is so good to see familiar and many new faces today. So now let's take a few moments to greet the neighbors around us. It is great to see so many enthusiastic greetings going on. Please feel free to continue those good conversations after our service in the coffee hour downstairs. So each week, congregants who agree to light our chalice are given a chance to respond to a question. This is a chance for us to get to know them better and to invite more voices up here into our chancel. Kim has been asked, what does being a UU mean to you during this season of your life? Thank you, Kim.
Good morning, everyone. Throughout the seasons of my life, my spirituality has been grounded in the natural world. Walking among trees, cultivating my garden, standing in the sand in front of the wide oceans is where I've always felt the most at home in my body, where I have felt my deepest experience of the sacred, and where I felt the freedom to make meaning and sense of the larger world in my life. Church has always been a little bit more complicated for me. Raised in a large conservative Catholic family, the youngest of 7, the social and spiritual teachings did not always align with what I believed to be true about the world, nor did I always feel like they were asking the right questions. I often experienced a lot of intellectual and spiritual isolation, and a lot of frustration and anger that my voice as a woman, a feminist, that the voices of the LGBTQ family members in my life experienced, and that I felt like the experiences of children were marginalized. I first attended a Unitarian Universalist church 20 years ago in the University District at the invitation of a graduate school friend. I was newly married, I was 30, I didn't have kids yet, so I was looking at things through a slightly different lens then. But I was inspired by the 7 principles, brought to tears, literally, by their coming of age ceremony that I was able to witness that day, and the seeds, as they say, were planted. It would still take a few years before I would arrive at the doorsteps of Westside. Now, a mother of 2 young children, my desire for a church community became even more important to me. For my first 10 years as a member of Westside, my experience as a UU, my focus was really shaped by the RE program, and I was deeply moved by this community's commitment, this faith tradition's commitment has to the spiritual and intellectual health and wellness of its youngest members, both through the religious exploration program and especially through OWL, our whole lives. So today, I stand before you finding myself squarely in that season of middle age. My children are 20 and 17 and finding their own spiritual and intellectual path through life, which if you've ever raised teens, you will know it does not always follow the same path as yourself. My gaze has shifted, but the meaning of Unitarian Universalism to me, and at Westside UU in particular, continues to be this. I now have a faith tradition and community that shares my passion for the natural world and that is fully dedicated to its own evolution, growth, and learning. Here I am challenged to be a better human. I am often made uncomfortable. I am often swimming upstream to make sense of both the personal and political challenges that I'm faced with. But I do so knowing that you are all swimming with me. We share values and learn from each other, keeping each other honest and grateful. In this season of my life, Unitarian Universalism is a place where I can feel comfortable in my body and spirit and feel intellectually supported to face the challenges of this broken and beautiful world in the company of kindred spirits.
Thank you, Kim. And speaking of Unitarian Universalist identity and experiences, we have a special celebration to engage in this morning, which is the welcoming of new members to our congregation. We have some people here with us who have made this commitment to join with our community. It's a commitment to having a communal life, a commitment to having a spiritual life, and we want to honor and celebrate and welcome them into this shared journey. And so I would like to invite Laura White forward. Laura is currently serving as our board vice president and our membership co-chair.
Good morning, friends. How are you? It's really my delight today to put my membership hat on and to lead us in a robust welcome to familiar and new friends who have become active members during this year. We're inspired today by these friends who've committed to embrace and aspire to our UU values, add their precious talents, energy, and presence to our congregation. We welcome you with open arms and festive spirits. We have some folks up here. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "A friend is a masterpiece of nature. The glory of friendship is not just an outstretched hand, a kindly smile, nor the joy of companionship. It is most importantly the spiritual inspiration which comes to one when you discover that someone else believes in you and is willing to trust you with a friendship." Others have said, a friend can help us become better versions of ourselves. I might add that by forming a community of friends committed to making the world a better place, Whether in small or larger arenas, we not only feed ourselves, but can combine our strengths and create a more loving future where we can all thrive. Before I honor our new members, I would like to take a moment to thank my membership co-chair, Amy Youngblood, as well as Charlotte House, our hospitality chair, Ginger Brewer, our master cookie maker, baker I should say, Joan Whitley, our greeter chair, and importantly, our outstanding administrator, Shannon Day, who have helped with the ceremony today and new members social hour. So with that introduction, I'm going to call the names of our new members, and I invite them to come up and perhaps be in the middle down here. Please bring up those who are nearest and dearest to your hearts with you so we can meet them together. I'm Victoria Hester and Gabby Berdetti. Just come right up in, yeah, right next to the chalice table is great, thank you. Gracie Bucklew, and I know they've got a lot of companions to bring, so good. Yay. Henry Sikora. Henry, I'll give you a few minutes to come down from the booth. Alice Murphy. Alice has also brought her father, who is in the front row. And some folks are unable to come today, but they're here in spirit and visuals. And Amy Knafis Soren and family.
They made it.
Oh, yippee! Woohoo! There you are. Emily Knafis Soren and family, Eric. Oh, everyone's here. Annika, Cleo. Yes. Mike Blom should be up here too. Great, so we have more than one picture. So let's congratulate everyone here. Yay. Carter and Amy and myself are now going to give you some humble gifts from our congregation, and then we'll do a unison welcoming all of us together.
And I think we're about ready to get the unison reading on the screen, and I hope it's going to be pretty visible to everyone. If you can't see the screen, or maybe you haven't learned to read yet, you can join in too. At the beginning of each sentence, see there's these little parts that says, "We welcome you," and so we invite everyone to really shout out, "We welcome you," when that line comes. And so please join me in reading. We've got our new members have their text in front of them, and they'll share some words as well. We welcome you, who come with hope in your heart, who come with anticipation in your bones, who come proud and joyous. We welcome you, who are seekers of a new faith, who come to question and reimagine, who come to grow and change. We welcome you, who come with weary spirit, seeking rest. Come broken and holy. Let's pause for a second, because we have another slide we're waiting for. Okay, let's do it. We welcome you, who enter this covenanting community as a homecoming, who find here a home for your spirit, who seek here traveling companions for your soul. We welcome you as once we were welcomed ourselves. And now, new members, you are invited to read your part. We welcome each other into a loving relationship together and embrace the joy of our shared spiritual community. Okay, thank you, everyone. I invite anyone up here to return to their seats, and Laura will close us out.
Woohoo! I just want to make sure to invite each person here today to join in a celebration downstairs. We have extra food and cookies and dessert. And then the new members will also be signing our new members book. The new members have also written a wonderful short introductory paragraph about themselves. Will be in 2 upcoming e-newses on Friday. So look forward to those and read those, and then really spend some time getting to know our newer members. This is a very important part of connecting to our community and valuing everyone who's here and the wonderful ideas and energy they bring to our congregation. Thank you.
For Spirit for opening hymn number 55.
Dark of winter, soft and still, your quiet calm surrounds me. Let my thoughts go where they will, easy
Thank you to Rainier Reunion, one of my favorite hymns. And now it is our time for all ages. And Charlie Wilson will be sharing today's story called The Shortest Day, celebrating the winter solstice. So anyone of any age who wishes to see or hear Charlie better, please come down, sit on the floor or in the front pews. And while you come forward, I'm going to tell you about the religious exploration activities that are going on this morning. The RE theme for today is stars, a symbol of hope and new beginnings. Activities will include learning about other faith traditions of this time, Hanukkah in particular, and talking about the symbolism of stars in other cultures. There are 2 special star craft opportunities today. Our children and youth of all ages are invited to engage with autonomy in any of our Connect and Explore stations and activities. As always, they'll be supported with care by an experienced teaching team. Ellen McComb, Faith Iverson, Thomas Terrence, Noella Natalino, and Jeanette Hinch, who will bring a focus on building relationships and belonging. I think I want to go downstairs. Yeah. High school youth are enthusiastically encouraged to come hang, play games with us, and have snacks. Families with babies and toddlers are invited to use our quiet room, which is in the sanctuary in the balcony during our service, or to join the RE program activities in the social hall. And now, Charlie will tell her story.
Am I mic'd?
Yes, you are.
I was hoping for more children. I get paid by the head, you know. Well, this book is The Shortest Day, and it's by Wendy Pfeiffer and Jesse Reich. And I like Jesse's artwork because he can do something I can't do. He can use colors and make snow in a book, and I just can't do that. So, there's the book. Can I read upside down? In late autumn, in the northern part of the world, squirrels hide their nuts, foxes grow thick hair coats, and flocks of birds fly to warmer places. The sun rises later each morning and sets earlier every evening. Each day it happens lower in the southern sky. As the sun gets lower and lower, the north gets less and less daylight. The air grows cold. Chickadees fluff their feathers. Oh, I don't have feathers. To keep them warm. Woodchucks hibernate in their burrows, and white-tailed deer nuzzle through the snow to find the last blades of grass. On short winter days, children bundle warm clothing and walk through a frosty white world, dragging long shadows behind them. Should drag a sled, I would hope. On long winter nights, families eat dinner while it's dark outside, and children wonder when the days will get long again so they can play outside after dinner like they did in the summer. In the north, on or around December 21, the sun reaches its lowest point of horizon. And I will mention it's 10 more shopping days till our solstice. I couldn't say solstice for a second. Making that day the shortest day of the year. Like all days, December 21st has 24 hours. So how's it the shortest day of the year if it's the same? What? It's the shortest. Yes, the least sunlight. Would you like to do this? That was a great answer. The shortest day, called the winter solstice, is the beginning of winter. And in some places, that means cold, nose-nipping weather. The earth tilts as it moves around the sun. You know what that means? It's kind of spinning, but it's leaning. And that's actually very important. When the northern part of the earth flies away, the sun, the north gets, okay. When the northern part of the earth tilts away, I can't read tilt upside down for some reason. When it tilts away from the sun, the north gets less heat and light, and less light than the southern part. The southern part gets more. Long ago, people didn't understand how the earth tilts and moves around the sun. They didn't understand why each day had less sunshine than the day before. Some believed that evil spirits made the sun go away. That's not good at all. People feared that the sun wouldn't shine on them anymore, making the world cold and dreary and dark. And really, it would make a big dent in the food supply, too. They needed the sun's warmth and food, and so did their plants, which they needed for food. They held ceremonies that lasted for weeks to persuade their god to bring back the sun. Over years, they noticed that after each short day, the day got gradually longer. Joyous people bathed in the sun's warmth and light. They celebrated their harvest. Their crops came in. About 5,000 years ago, people who studied the sky noticed that day after day, the sun set in different places on the western horizon. And they discovered that when the sun set farthest south, that was the shortest day. These early astronomers planned to mark the shortest day. Each year, people would know when the days would start getting longer again. On the day that they reached the southernmost point on the horizon, the astronomers carried out their plan. They brought a bunch of workers and they stacked stones up to frame a setting sun, and they made a special opening in the wall that they built, like a keyhole or the eye of a needle. And when the setting sun's rays beamed through that little opening, people knew the shortest day was over. Well, that means they lined some holes up just right to make it shine on the right spot. So that was pretty tough. And so this is a picture of the slot that the sun was shining through. Days gradually grew longer for the next 6 months. When the sun appeared farthest to the north, its rays shone through another keyhole. And people knew that that meant it was the longest day of the year, the first day of summer. In China, over 3,000 years ago, astronomers measured shadows to determine the shortest day. The longest shadow appeared on the shortest day. because the sun was at its lowest point in the sky. They knew that the sun appeared higher in the sky, and then that made the shadows get shorter, and the day would get longer. Over 2,000 years ago, Romans celebrated the shortest day with festive merrymaking. They gave evergreen branches to friends as a sign of good luck. You know anyone else who does things with evergreens? We do a lot with Christmas time, I think. Mistletoe and holly hung from their homes because plants that survived, these were green plants that survived the harsh winter. They didn't turn brown and fall off, drop their leaves off. So that was very symbolic of life, and many people believed that the plants would strengthen their families. About 1,000 years ago, Europeans celebrated the winter solstice, and they did it with some fancy stuff. The Druid priests of England and Ireland decorated oak trees with golden apples and candles to represent the harvest light. In Sweden, a festival of light celebrated the longer days. Around the same time in history, Incas marked up the shortest day with a festival in honor of the sun. At dawn, when the sun first appeared, shouts of happiness rang out, and the Incas used a shiny surface to reflect the sun rays on some fluffy cotton. And like magic, they made it catch fire. Today, people celebrate the belonging of winter by decorating the house. They light up the darkness and gather together and exchange gifts. They no longer worry that the sun will disappear forever. And that really scared some people for some years. People know that it gets colder when their part of the earth leans away from the sun, but they know that days get shorter when the sun appears lower in the sky. So people celebrate the shortest day because longer days follow, flocks of birds return, seedling oak trees from acorns will sprout, and children can play outside after dinner. For more than 5,000 years, people have welcomed the winter solstice because it's a new beginning. And I'm going to stop there. And thank you for paying attention. And you all have some money for me, right?
Thank you, Charlie, for that wonderful story. And now, as our children go to their activities downstairs, let's all sing them out with As You Go.
We hold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go. To nurture the spark of your precious life. We hold you in our love as you go.
At this time, we will engage in a collective act of generosity known as our offering. When we make a commitment to actively support Westside UU congregation and its many ministries with our gifts by text, check, or cash. And each month we choose a community organization to share 1/3 of our undesignated offering gifts. That is, those donations not designated as your pledge contributions. For the month of December, our community giving recipient is Youth Care Orion Center. Youth Care is located at the corner of Denny and Stewart in South Lake Union. You may have seen their brightly colored Orion Center building if you're sitting at that stoplight. Youth Care provides street outreach, residential housing, nutrition, health services, life skills development, and employment training for young people ages 12 through 24 who are experiencing homelessness, including living on the streets. Youth Care's mission is to end youth homelessness and to ensure that young people are valued for who they are and empowered to achieve their potential. With our worship schedule of 2 times per month, we're especially called to extend generosity to our worthy community partners each time we gather. So you can give by text by sending a message with a $sign and the amount you want to give to the number shown on the screen. For folks here in the sanctuary, prefer to give your gifts by cash or check. The greeters will move among us shortly. And if you'd like your gift to be recorded as coming from you, please use one of the envelopes in the pews. And now, please enjoy this gift of music, Josephine Dopfals by Roger Talroth, performed by Chris McEwen on fiddle and Lisa Maynard on flute. Thank you, Chris and Lisa, so beautiful. And thank you to everyone for giving, you who are able today to support Westside and Youth Care Orion Center. Your generosity of time, treasure, and presence are gifts that sustain us as a community.
During each of our services, we like to take a moment to have collective space for honoring the joys and sorrows of this community. And I will note, normally on the second Sunday of each month, we would take time to physically embody this with a ritual. We have stones we place in water. We wanted to make space to welcome new members this Sunday, so we invite you, if that would be a helpful space for you, to place a stone in the water at the table after the service, and we'll have some quiet contemplative music so that you can take the space that you need. We have a joy this morning from Marion Key and the upright bass that is with them today. This was a gift from their bass teacher and his friends, and this Christmas marks the 50th anniversary of Marion having this bass in their life, and I was hearing it's such a great story that it came to them. So we celebrate and are grateful that this bass is part of our community as well as Marion. Yeah. And I know we are all holding in our heart just the ongoing grief in the world now. We hear of war in the news every day, and I was just hearing this morning about a deadly tornado in central Tennessee, and so just our love extends out to the broader human community, and we know that we are interconnected to the grief of many beyond our community. And so let us take a moment of quiet, of reflection. I have meditation words from Mark Stringer to share with you. As the year winds down to its close, and we are submerged once again in the seasonal darkness we have come to know so well, we have reason to think back upon the year that was, if only because it will soon be gone. We think back to the friends we have made, the sorrow we have endured, the love we have found, the loneliness we have survived. We think back to the blessings of being forgiven and the gift we offered to ourselves when we forgave. We think back to those who listened to us in our times of need and to the times we could have listened more. We think back to the things that we traded for our time and to what we may have overlooked in the process. We think back to the times when we were afraid and uncertain and we trudged ahead anyway, and the times when we were compassionate when we could have been cold. In the season of still growing night, may we see more clearly against the dark backdrop of our living, the true light of our lives, which is the love we give to others and the peace we nurture in ourselves. And so with this, let us take one more moment of quiet reflection in this moment, and then we will be led into a singing meditation.
When I learned of the theme for today's service, finding a time in this season for turning inward, resting, dreaming, I immediately thought of a song by Judy Collins called "The Fallow Way." It was recorded in 1997 and released on her Forever an Anthology album. I first heard it on a 2009 tribute album called Born to the Breed, which features a wealth of performers interpreting the music of Judy Collins in such interesting ways. The Fallow Way was sung on this album by her longtime friend, Jimmy Webb, in an orchestrated version that just sticks in my head. When I hear it, I think of the sculptural shapes of leafless autumn trees, of garden plots nourished and zipped up for the winter, of agricultural fields sitting out a cycle to replenish. As I share the lyrics, I invite you to sink down wherever you are and try to let any tension in your body go to your quiet breath and to the soles of your feet, to the grounding earth. The Fallow Way. I'll learn to love the fallow way when winter draws the valley down and stills the rivers in their storm and freezes all the little brooks. Time when our steps slow to the song of falling flakes and crackling flames, when silver stars are high and still, deep in the velvet of the sky. The crystal time, the silence times, I'll learn to love their quietness, while deep beneath the glistening snow, the black earth dreams of violets. I'll learn to love the fallow way when all my colors fade to white and flying birds fold back their wings upon my anxious wonderings. I'll gather in the patient fruits, and after autumn's blaze and burn, I'll hear the song of root and seed slumbering in winter's folds. I'll learn to love the fallow way, have dreams of green and blue and gold, and listening for the blossoming of my own heart once more in spring.
Sing for you a familiar tune with new lyrics by the Reverend Jan Aldridge Clanton. This season gives us a wonderful opportunity to sing carols for racial and gender justice. O Holy Darkness contributes to racial justice by changing the traditional symbolism of darkness as evil or ominous to darkness as creative bounty and beauty, emphasizing the sacred value of people of color through these positive ideas. This carol contributes to gender justice by emphasizing the sacred value of females, connecting the divine female to holy darkness, and empowering us all to end injustice and heal the wounds of earth.
Holy darkness, loving womb, who nurtures and creates, sustain us through O holy night of deepest bliss, we celebrate your power. Infuse us with your energy that brings our seeds to flower. The voice out of the darkness excites our warmest being to bring together dark and light, true holiness reveal. Oh, come to us, Sophia, your image black and fair stirs us to act in justice, and the wombs of earth repair. The treasures of your darkness and riches of your grace inspire us to fulfill our call, our sacredness and grace.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that rendition, and you did such a good job. I love this song because I am interested in our dominant culture's narratives about darkness, and to be honest, I have a lot of narratives about darkness that I have been working to untangle. I want to explore other possibilities than darkness as a place of misery, isolating void. A lot of times darkness is associated with sin in our culture. And so in this season of long, dark days in this very northern place, more northern than I have ever lived in, we need more narratives about darkness. And to be honest, I bet most of you who have lived here longer than me are farther along on this journey than I am. It is December. We are entering a month of festivity with many ways to celebrate. We have Hanukkah happening now, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Yule, Saturnalia. As Charlie shared in our Time for All Ages, humans have a long tradition across time and culture of marking this time of year with spiritual and communal practices. And to be honest, this is one of the bigger culture shocks that I have dealt with coming to the Pacific Northwest from the South, is that people here are really entangled with the natural world, the rhythms of the season. I love it, I'm here for it. But it is not what I'm used to. It must be something about the stunning natural beauty we have access to and the sharp contrast in the experience of the seasons. So this being my third winter in the region, I am beginning to get a handle on how it goes. And I am understanding that with these long, dark nights and day after day of wet gray, just trying to ignore and endure is probably not the best strategy. And I'm from the South, I'm a summer person, I was born in August, I'm very comfortable in hot climates, I'm a morning person, so dark, cold is not the environment that I am naturally most drawn to, but I thought this exploration of the value and beauty in the darkness would be valuable. And I have learned that just because I am more drawn to bright, warmth, heat, I do not have to reject winter altogether. There are things that we do to enjoy our time. Like I said, you all probably know better than me. For me, this looks like spending more time in the kitchen, making lots of soup. My socializing turns indoors. It means long hours on the couch with friends, drinking tea, crafting, watching movies, and even occasionally, I let my sporty friends drag me out to go cross-country skiing. It's not my favorite, but I know it does me good. And then there are the holidays, which come with all kinds of baggage. I struggle with the consumerism of the season, the pressure to spend money on gifts. As a non-Christian in a Christian culture and a minister, I struggle with how to relate to the Christmas story because it is all around us, it is beautiful, it is touching, and it doesn't feel quite like mine, quite my story. And so this is a time of a lot of complexity. And frankly, in the past few years, it feels like it takes some real effort to muster up a celebratory mood. Must we sing about good tidings and gladness? It seems that we do. Truth be told, I think that we need these holidays in one form or another to help us gather together and weather this long, dark part of the year, to recognize that joy and wisdom is here for us, even here, even now. And so enough about me and my complexity. Let's pause for a minute and do a brief reflection. Maybe you want to close your eyes, take a centering breath, and think about the following questions. What does this season mean to you? Right now, this year, today, you might be in the midst of celebration, gearing up for celebration, or you're not sure what it will look like, your holidays. How are you feeling about that? Maybe you have a lot of different feelings, contradictory ones, maybe different feelings than the ones you think you should feel. Give yourself space to explore anything that is coming up. Are there traditions you're excited to carry on? Traditions you'd rather let go of? Or maybe some traditions you love that you no longer really have access to? And how does the passing of this year feel? How does the long, dark feel? Take another moment to just notice whatever is coming up for you and offer yourself some love. And trust that you can hold this experience and you can lean in this season. If your eyes were closed, I invite you to open them now. Yeah, you feel that? I'm glad we can take this time to acknowledge all that comes up for folks in these days. For those of us who struggle with this time of year, there is a way that we can know ourselves to be strong by getting through. I think of the 20-degree days that I had to endure for a couple years in Boston, and didn't love it, but I did it. And we can do it. And when we are weary, but we carry on anyway, withstanding the dark, wet outside, whatever struggle is inside us, we can know ourselves to be strong in this season. And to make merry on top of that, that's resilience. And the good news is that we do not have to be resilient alone. We have each other. We are called to come together with our families, our communities, to gather around the fire and tell stories, to feast, to dance, to await the return of the sun. It is interesting, isn't it? For so much of human history in times and places where life has been more directly tied to the agricultural seasons, winter has always been a time of scarcity, precarity. It is the time when the year's harvest is put to the test, with a constant worry of whether or not there would be enough to make it to the next growing season. And we humans go and we kick it off with a feast. We celebrate, we have frivolous abundance. I think there's something beautiful in this tradition. We make space for joy and togetherness and full bellies, even though we don't know what hardship might come in the coming months. This lineage of tradition from generation to generation speaks to a commitment to life, an understanding that the sun is slowly returning. In this context, I like to think of our holidays as a joyous assertion of abundance, where we can cultivate an inner warmth that might help sustain us as we settle down for whatever is to come. In nature, winter represents a fallow time, as Lisa's reflection shared with us. Without the intervention of farmers, gardeners, collecting their produce, collecting their seeds, this is the time of year that seeds are resting on or in the ground, waiting patiently. Seeds have this inner knowing that helps them wait until conditions are just right to sprout. If they start growing too early, they risk that the plants they turn into might not survive the cold. But a seed, this tight little bundle of nutrients, is able to just rest, knowing the time for growing will come. Reverend Doju Freire, a Brazilian Zen nun, writes, "With their ancient and inherent memory of life, seeds possess and show us many virtues. They have the ability to wait for the right moment to move. As great masters of patience, they know how to soften and welcome the necessary light and heat to evolve themselves, these wise teachers of life. In the winter, it helps to think of oneself as a seed, resting underground, not rushing the coming of the spring, not forcing a flurry of activity to stay busy. It helps when we think of the rich fertility of the darkness. This is not a time for doing, but for dreaming. And the plants that do grow this time of year are building their root structures. If we want to look to nature, we might do well to turn to the work that is under the surface, less visible to the outer world. It is important from time to time to have seasons for turning inward in this way. Winter is a time for reflecting on the year gone by, dreaming for the days ahead. We take stock, clean up, and make space for the new and rest. We learn to love the fallow way. Are there ways that you want to commit to rest in this season? Sorry. There is abundance to indulge in, even in the coming scarcity. Let us lean in. May we rely on these rhythms, on this spiraling, dancing wheel of the year. We have been here before, but not quite. We know what we're doing, but not quite. Let us get still, offer our presence, and turn toward ourselves and one another. Amen, and may it be so.
I invite you to stand in body or spirit as we sing our sending hymn, People Look East. It's number 226 in the Gray Hymnal.
Thank you again to Rainier Reunion and Gracie Bucklew joining them today, John Hanson, all of our very, very beautiful and rich music today. Thanks to Charlie Wilson for the wonderful and informative story, to Kim for the wonderful chalice lighting reflection, Nate and Henry for our technical expertise, bringing all of us together here and out there. Thanks to all who participated in the greening of the sanctuary and decorating the rest of the building. Festivity is upon us. Thanks to the ushers and to our hospitality team with our special welcome today for our new members. As always, it is a pleasure and blessing to do this sacred work together. So members, definitely keep looking at your West Side Week. You receive it on Friday, details about many congregational activities in person and online. And here are a few items that I feel very important. So a number of people have already committed here to provide gift bags to the Westside Interfaith Network welcome table. They're going to be distributed on December 16th. And Regina Brennan, who's been coordinating this important program for us and our service to the community, will be downstairs to receive your bags or to further assist you if you still want to do that. She'll have lots of very exacting and helpful instructions. Also today in the newsletter, a reminder that at 3 p.m. there is an online Sunday afternoon vigil for peace in Gaza, Israel, offered by UU Ministers, Church of the Larger Fellowship, and DRUM, which is the Unitarian Universalism's largest and oldest people of color collective. It is an online activity. It is open to all who are interested in honoring the spiritual work towards ending violence. Details on how to register are in the newsletter for today's vigil. Also a reminder that one of our community partners, the Duwamish Tribe, is holding their annual Native Art Market next weekend at the Duwamish Longhouse and Cultural Center down on West Marginal Way Southwest. It's a great event, and if you're still gift shopping, terrific place to go. And finally, please note our worship schedule for the remainder of December, which will feature a winter solstice service in the social hall on Thursday the 21st, and an evening Christmas Eve service here in the sanctuary on the 24th. Both will be beautiful. Hope to see you there.
You are invited to please rise in body or spirit for our closing words from Norman Naylor. Our eyes now turn toward the ordinary. Leaving this space made sacred by our presence, take with you at least some seed of understanding, hope, or courage, and drop it into the confusion of the world. Nourish the seed that might grow as a tree of life, giving shelter to the weary and hope to the despairing. Be yourself a branch of the tree of life. And now I'll invite Kim forward to release our flame. And as she does so, may you go into this week blessed and blessing the world. We hold you in our love as you go.